For the last 6 years, the number one topic that companies have been struggling with.
Es un especialista en indicadores de marketing y sus consecuencias financieras para empresas.
What are the measures that we want to look at for trying to get a sense of profitability?
David Ripstein actúa como consultor de empresas como General Electric, Novartis y Johnson & Johnson.
Because when you're back at the office and you're a CEO, you can't let people know that you don't understand what's going on.
Considerado por las revistas Fortune y Business Week como uno de los mejores profesores de negocios del mundo.
But I'm going to take an angle in looking at it and trying to think about what in marketing, besides just price, I'll talk a little bit about price, but what in marketing really drives that? And what are the measures that we want to look at for trying to get a sense of profitability? And so I will tell you that most of the time I'm at the University of Pennsylvania, where the Wharton School is, and I teach a course on marketing metrics. And we spend a week going through details about this. I'm going to try and condense that week to the next hour and a half. For the last 6 years, the number one topic that companies have been struggling with, the very number one topic, has been centered around marketing metrics and how we link that to profitability. How much it is that Intel spent last year on the Intel Inside campaign. Does Intel pay the OEMs to put Intel Inside on the product? Anybody here from Intel? I see no hands up, so I can tell all sorts of stories. The head of the Intel Inside campaign was in my executive program on marketing metrics. And does Intel pay the OEMs to put Intel Inside on the product? Or do the OEMs, the original equipment manufacturers, pay Intel? Which is it? Do you know? Most of us don't know. And half of us are wrong. Intel pays Dell, or pays Acer, or pays Lenovo, or pays HP to put Intel Inside on the product and put it on the box. And if they do it of a certain size, Intel will pay for the advertising for that original equipment manufacturer, to a point. I want you to guess how, in your mind, how much it is that Intel spent last year on the Intel Inside campaign. We all know Intel Inside. How much would you guess that they spent? Well, give me a guess. 20 million? 200 million. 200 million. Is that high? Last year, Intel spent in excess of $1 billion on the Intel Inside campaign. Now, could you imagine going to your boss and saying, I'd like $1 billion to try my campaign? How can they justify spending $1 billion? And the answer to that is very clear. They pay out of this pocket to the OEMs. Here's $1 billion. They charge a 25% premium for the Intel chip over the AMD chip. Now, I will tell you, and I was an expert witness in the Intel AMD legal case years ago. I will tell you that in a blind taste test, we cannot tell the difference between one chip and another chip. But they charge a 25% premium. You're willing to pay extra if, oh, does it have Intel? You're willing to pay extra for it, and they charge you 25% extra for that component. Actually, 2006, Intel's revenue, $38 billion. 25% of that was because of brand. That's $9.5 billion. Incremental contribution came from the brand. So let's see, I paid out $1 billion, I took in $9 billion. I don't know how you think about it down here, but that's a good return on investment where I live. Intel pays Dell or pays Acer to put Intel inside on the product and put it on the box. So let's see, I paid out $1 billion, I took in $9 billion.
En el próximo bloque,